Hello and welcome to another episode of AcknoLedger. This is a weekly Twitter Spaces, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, everywhere we go live every Tuesday, 2 p.m., 3:30 p.m. BST, and we talk with interesting people who are building something amazing in the metaverse space. And today I have a very good friend of mine, Trish Kane, who has been on this podcast twice before. So this is the regular Trish Kane. Hi Trish, welcome on this one.
Hey, Abhishek. Thank you for having me. It's awesome to be here. I love talking to you in person and I love doing stuff like this with you. And this is an amazing topic. So, yeah.
Great. So Trish is building up a very amazing platform, and I saw a glimpse of it a few weeks back at one of the event. So Trish, let's start from let's take a step back. One is we all know there are multiple use cases of metaverses which are happening across the globe in multiple industries. We have seen unique cases in retail. We have seen interesting cases in hospitality, but I think one of the most exciting parts of metaverses, which I'm excited, which is a real use case, which will maybe solve a real problem, is in healthcare. So tell me, how has your journey been? Why you got into Healerverse? What Healerverse is doing, and where do you think system is currently, and how metaverse and technology can help it?
So, yeah, it depends what country you're in too, right? So, I'm in the US right now, and basically, the healthcare system is completely broken. They will spend money on like westernized medicine and they'll, like through big pharma and like insurance companies and the government. And, and now they don't even pay practitioners as much as they used to at all. And everything is kind of like getting more centralized in the US, as opposed to it used to be more like private and everything. And it really is broken because there's just a lot of corruption behind it. And they really don't support like any type of holistic medicine. Like, rarely does insurance support westernized holistic medicine or like meditation or like different like spiritual or holistic practices. It's all like for profit, I've heard a lot of stuff in the UK too with the way that they're set up, that a lot of people just aren't getting the care that they need. And a lot of the, like, they're starting to now do a lot more with basically like preventative medicine, but truly like they're keeping you sick. Like, and I could go on and on because I'm obviously part of like the spiritual community and like just the wellness community in general. We're like, okay, you're like literally putting like crap in the water, you're putting pesticides in the foods and like GMOs and like what happened to the organic food and why is it so expensive? You know what I mean? Um, and I think too, like a lot of people are kind of like on this mission of like, okay, like how do we like do what's best for us? And really like the lockdown and COVID really helped us to like realize like, okay, maybe we could do things differently and not listen to what's being said in mass media and really start to think for ourselves, which has been brilliant. Because, yeah, like we kind of come from this society and it's probably global. I can only speak for where I've spent a lot of time. But it's like people tell us what we should do or think or eat or have, and that this is healthy or that's healthy. And it's not necessarily true. So, but we just do it because we're told that it's good. And literally, Abhishek, I go into the grocery store last week, maybe it was the week before, and like the apples are literally this big. And I look at this woman and I'm like, what's wrong with this apple? She's like, yeah. I like looked at her. She's like, yeah, they like beefed it up with GMOs and all this crap. And I'm like, that's not even an apple. Like the DNA of an apple completely changes when you do stuff like
That's
that.
a Hulk. That's a Hulk apple.
And it's no longer an apple. You know what I mean? Oh my God. And it's funny. I'm laughing, but it's not really funny, right? But
Mm-hmm.
it's like something's wrong with that apple. You know what I mean? Oh my God. So it's just twisted how And like maybe I sound like a conspiracy theorist and I know I'm
Mm.
going on a tangent here, but truly like things are corrupt, you know what I mean? Like making us sick to make money, to make us better. And the stuff that they're giving us also isn't even making us better in some ways. Listen, I love doctors and I love surgeons and like they really do an amazing job, but I also believe in a combination of everything and having more support for spiritual and holistic remedies as opposed to just straight up here you go get surgery, you take this medication, you know, and you take it for a long time, like antidepressants and all this crap. Like they all have side effects. Like where does it all begin? You know? Um, so like yeah, and I think that there's going to be a lot of things that we're going to see in the metaverse. We've already seen meditation spaces, mindfulness spaces. Basically, what Healerverse is doing is like a Web 2.5. You know, we're launching a social media platform on Web 2, but we're also launching NFT collections and different in-person experiences because like my entire like being is like help people to find the best version of themselves and find that out through yourself, not through what people are telling you. And then also bringing people together, like-minded people. So I can't say who it is yet, but I did have a talk with a pretty big deal company yesterday about launching an NFT collection with them as a utility. So we'll know more next week, but basically they are big with plant medicine and like mushrooms and marijuana. And while I've been sober for 8.5 years, I don't drink or take anything. I do completely support ayahuasca, plant medicine, mushrooms, maybe not all day, every day, but like for the purpose of really helping to heal trauma
Right.
and like, you know, and maybe it's just like for a short period of time because I've seen what it's done for my friends, you know, but guess what? You can grow that for free. So no one's making money, you know what I mean? If that's an option. So it's not legal in most countries, but
Correct.
yeah. And yeah, that's where Healerverse is kind of going. We're doing more meditations on the, you know, on the metaverse. We're going to do tons of stuff. Like one of the unique things with Healerverse is that healers, there's millions of healers out there. Healers, millions. Types, locations, everything. And like they don't even have to be a category. We all have our superpowers. So I think it's going to be so cool. What Healerverse is going to do is really bring healers to the metaverse, like all different healers globally to the metaverse. So that way they can practice what they do. And I mean, that's anything from like, you know what I mean, sound healing to different journeys that you could go through on the metaverse. To, I mean, the biggest thing too is like the anonymity behind it. You could be whoever you want to be on the metaverse. So if there's like some big time CEO of some big pharma company that wants to go on the metaverse, you know,
Secret agent.
yeah, doesn't want anybody to know. um,
Interesting.
you can do that, you know. And then also, I think with the blockchain tech, Abhishek, it's going to be so cool to be able to have your medical records at your disposal and have all of them. So instead of having to fill out forms at the doctor's office every damn time, just be like, here's my blockchain. Here's
Right.
my, yeah, like here's
And I think, I mean, this is what we were also discussing a few weeks back, Trish, if you remember, is that I think uh, uh, a metaverse or an online environment gives you that feeling of confidence because a lot of time people are not very specific to certain medical conditions, whether it is a mental trauma, whether it is alcoholism, they're not very open to talk about this in front of somebody. But when it comes in an online environment where you're not seeing the other person's face, you can still open up. So that's I think a huge advantage of a lot of people who might be suffering from certain trauma or I'm saying mental conditions, but they're not able to talk to anyone. So do you think
yeah,
healer words will also come into that picture? How will you solve this problem?
definitely. that's what we intend to do, to like lead the way in that and give people like, build out metaverses for healers and have different events and workshops in the metaverse and different like on different metaverses, different locations, at all different times. And then we'll probably do some kind of like courses on there so people can just go in at their leisure. So that way it could be a global time that anyone can go in there at any time and just go do whatever course that they're feeling called to. Because the thing is too, Abhishek, is that you could go down a rabbit hole. And I like that. At NFT NYC last week, I spoke and I taught people how to tap into their higher self. I only spoke for 10 minutes, so it was a quick exercise, but really just like teaching people how to heal themselves. Like healers are not healing people, they're showing people how to heal themselves, And there is no quick fix. It's a lifelong journey, right? So like people put sometimes doctors on a pedestal, but like the body heals itself. And it's really about the way that we treat ourselves, speak to ourselves, who we surround ourselves with, that really like, on a cellular level, make us who we are. Like I hear a lot of women that are like, oh my God, I'm so FAT. I don't even want my body to hear that, right? That makes you gain weight. It's true. Because it's like adding trauma. You're talking badly about yourself.
Negative energies to be added to you.
Yeah. So like really teaching people like how to like be mindful throughout the day, and how to tweak the littlest things. Because really, like the power of manifestation is that everything is possible and anybody can do everything. But like it's not a secret. It's everyone can do it. It's like society kind of conditions us to believe. Like I've always been an idea person, Abhishek, and anytime I had an idea, people would always tell me why it wouldn't work. And my brother said to me like a few months back, he's like, Trish, everybody always tells you not to do things and you do them anyway and they work out. That was awesome.
Right.
Yeah, I'm excited to lead the way in that because there are so many healing modalities out there. And then also like it's going to like the blockchain tech is also going to help with like different coding and stuff, because I think now they're on ICD-10 coding, which is like basically a human takes medical records, like electronic medical records, and codes them for billing for insurance, right? So one of the things that I foresee is that it'll just be automated, and even though it'll remove some jobs, it'll give a lot more jobs. And I think it'll also allow a lot more people to tap into their creative energy if machines are doing a lot of the work for us. And taking away some jobs is not a bad thing when we're adding new jobs, And yeah, so that's kind of exciting too. I don't know if they do that in the UK. I would assume that they must do something like that, even though it's not really billing per se. Well, I guess some people have private insurance in addition, right?
Correct.
But it's like that's a really funny way to do things, to code things. Like,
Correct, correct.
do
So
whatever.
Trish, you mentioned Healerverse is not Web 2, Healerverse is not Web 3. You mentioned specifically 2.5. So do you mean to say that this will be a physical? So I can, if I go on Healerverse, could I also find physical healers who are nearby? Is it going to be a marketplace? Is it so? What would be the
Yeah.
business model? How will it function?
Yeah. So basically, like, it's going to launch in a few weeks finally, right? Like it's been a long time that I was saying that, but I switched developers and then I went back to the original developers. But it's a social media platform like Facebook, right? And on that social media platform, healers sign up themselves. And you can book appointments with the healer directly through the platform, any events in the community, and any workshops. So, like, basically bringing people together in person, also, like, that's a big thing for me. Like, you can have an online community all day, but
Yeah.
that's great. I think that's great too, but it's important to be out there with people, the human interaction, the you know what I mean? Like it's important and it feels good, right? Um, so yeah, so it's going to have a space to find people and events in the local communities which is huge because right now everything is so fragmented, right?
Mm,
Like events are on Eventbrite, workshops are nowhere to be found, like for
mm,
healers, you know?
correct.
And appointments, there's like different platforms that are like westernized medicine, book an appointment and put it through insurance. But guess
Mm,
what? That's the same scheme that's going on with having
mm,
people paying more for insurance. Like, yeah, it's self-pay, but guess what? These healers and my friends that are healers, like
mm,
part of an underground spiritual community, and there's like thousands of us globally.
mm,
They're
mm,
all amazing healers and they all do different things. They're
mm,
all in different locations. You can't even really put a title on yourself because like there's different types of energy work and mindfulness and breath work and meditation and chiropractors. um, I love acupuncture. That knocks me out. I was so scared to try it, and then I tried it, and I was like, "This is amazing." I fell asleep. I was like, I felt like euphoric after it, you know.
mm,
So basically, like, and also it's like a community on there, so people can find people to kick it with on the full moon, the new moon, learn about like planets, and learn about like all the energies going on and like the elements, right? The different healing modalities. Like, I mean, really, like that's just touching the surface, you know, and be able to try out all different healers in their communities and online too. So, like, when in the world would I ever find a healer in India to be able to go to? You know what I mean?
mm,
And be able to have some of these experiences, like, and also people are going to want to go on retreats too. There's different healing retreats, yoga retreats, breathwork retreats, like all the above retreats. So definitely bringing people in person too. The thing that I mean about 2.5 is it's web 2 and it's web 3. Web
mm.
2.5, because like in person is one thing, Web 2 is another, and Web 3 is another. Like I think a lot of the companies are really Web 2.5. You know what I mean? If you have a website, like it's not like blockchain tech. You know what I mean? It's Web 2.5.
I think most of the current companies are Web 2 or 2.5. There are very few who actually claim to be a Web 3, and I think it's really awesome of you to tell clearly that this is Web 2.5 and not claiming to be Web 3 everywhere where people are doing that. So Trish, my next question to you is, I mean, obviously, I'm not from the industry, but do you think there are any technical challenges which these healers will face moving to metaverse, or you will be giving some sort of training to them as well? Because what I see is you're also going to create a lot of employment. You're also going to create a lot of people who might be very good healers, but they are not very good marketeers or maybe not very good sellers. So you will put a lot of employment also into this. So how do you plan to face that challenge? How will you solve this problem?
That's a good question. So, yeah, definitely we're going to be educating healers on how to like here you set up your avatar here
Mm,
and then you enter here and this is how you like walk, this is how you jump, this is how you know what I mean, depending on what metaverses we decide to go with and where we decide to build. And yeah, like education is everything. And like how do we simplify it, right? There's all
mm,
these wallets and MetaMask and
right.
OpenSea, and like
Mm,
it depends on the blockchain, you know,
mm,
it depends on the blockchain. And like it was so funny at NFT NYC last week, somebody said to me, "Oh, 2 Chains," and I'm like, "The rapper." I just like to have fun. Abhishek, I take stuff so seriously. I'm at the point where I just want to have fun. Like, you
right.
know, but like, yeah, because it's like, it's good to be on maybe 2 chains, you know what I mean? Depending on what you're doing,
Mm,
especially if you're a bigger company. But like, yeah, like really just bringing this community to the metaverse. And I've shared this with you before, Abhishek, but the spiritual and holistic communities are the most censored shadow banned
right.
communities on
Mm,
the planet.
mm,
It's a thing. A lot of
mm,
people know it, and a lot of people are like, "What?" Like,
mm,
yeah. So, and good for good reason. They're not making anybody money if they're making their own individual money. You know, we like yoga studios alone in the U.S. make on average like $300,000 a year. You
wow.
know, yeah. Um, but yeah, like just educating educating, and bringing them in because we want to be in there. We need to be in there to like. I'm about disrupting some shit.
Right, right. I think nobody has tried this, and what you are doing is bringing. I think I would say a section which lot of people have never even thought about, never even seen. I mean, I never knew, and in fact, when you told me that there are multiple kind of healers, I had no clue. I only thought that this is all mumbo jumbo, and there are only one or two kind of healers which are. But if you're saying there is a huge category, I think a lot of unseen people will also come into mainstream if once you bring this platform live.
Yeah, there's even like doulas, midwives. I mean, those are healers. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm,
I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Reiki, theta healing. There's all different kinds of breath work, all different kinds. Like Wim Hof is a perfect example. Like healers. I mean, you could like in Florida where I am right now, there's a lot of like med spas that you could go to and go do red light therapy or a sauna or like
mm,
yeah, light therapy is another thing. And I haven't done it since I've been in the US, but that is amazing. So I've
mm,
had dermatitis like on my like face for like years. And
mm,
I was doing the red light and the blue light therapy at a med spa in London, and my face, my skin looked so good. And people are now saying that like light therapy is going to cure everything. And based on the results that I was getting, I wouldn't doubt it. You
mm,
know, I wonder if they could do something or we could do something like that on the metaverse. But yeah,
mm,
there's like light healing, sound healing. There's so much. There's so much. And I've been having a lot of talks with people that do stuff like that. Like you can even just Google right now, like frequency healing. There's all different frequencies of sound that you can just put on, and it's amazing. I feel the cells in my body turning on. It's
mm.
like the coolest thing. If you just like lay there and relax, it's like, oh God, it's just taking the time to do these too, right? And it's
Correct.
important. Self care. Like, I, even like 5 months ago, I was like, what even is that? You know what I mean? Taking a bath, listening to sound healing, doing a
Mm,
meditation. You don't even have to know what it is. Just Google meditation, 10
mm.
minutes, you know? And there's no way to perfect this stuff. Like, you just have to see what calls to you, you know? But how do you find that stuff? So, Healerverse.
Absolutely, absolutely. So
Yeah.
Trish, I really so when is the platform going live? I think we all have been waiting for it. And
I know.
what is the roadmap? And are you targeting any specific geographies for this, or this would be a global platform from day one?
So, because of all the regulations of collecting data
Mm,
and people's contact information, it's going to launch in the US, the UK, and Canada. And actually, those are some of the biggest markets in the $5 trillion industry.
mm,
It's estimated to be 7 trillion by 2028,
wow.
which is pretty good. Like, yeah, I think UK is like number four, US is number one by far. And like my team researched, now we're at 65,000 healers in the
Wow.
US that we researched, and different events and stuff to be able to bring them on. And um, we're going to send it. We have 700 people pre registered. We took down the pre registration link, and yeah, we're just gonna send it. We're gonna do some events and stuff. The thing that I can't talk about yet, like I said, the roadmap is launch NFT collection series one with really good utilities, because I would never just launch an NFT, and
Mm,
10% of that will definitely go back to this specific charity that I'm in conversations with. Like, it's gonna be so lit.
wow.
um and like literally like just keep doing events within the healerverse community. Eventually we're gonna have healerverse hubs, healerverse merch. Like with the NFTs, I really want to do suit jackets with rhinestones on the back of them with like their NFTs, like that way people can rock it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like high quality like NFTs. It's not, when I do something I have to do it big. I'm not gonna like do
Mm,
anything small because I need a lot to do, you know?
right. Right.
and more to my plate. And then we're definitely going to be teaming up with a metaverse or several, and
Mhm.
kind of start to go down that journey of doing different events in the metaverse and allowing healers to rent out metaverse spaces through Healerverse and educating them on all that. I really haven't decided who we're going to go with yet because, like, just initially, we're doing an event with Cheryl Ann in about 2 weeks. There's a 50 spot max capacity,
Mhm.
and she's going to be doing a meditation. So we're inviting Healerverse onto that. But like, we really want like a big arena, and it has to be quality, and the avatars have to be amazing. And I think too, like, there are some challenges still where with where like the metaverse is at, like obviously, like, a website that doesn't have to have a VR headset is imperative for the first phase of this, but
Mhm.
eventually, like, we'll brand out VR headsets, and like, you know what I mean, like when we have like an NFT launch, we'll send those out to people that, you know what I mean, buy the NFTs. Like, but we're definitely gonna like do so much in the NFT space coming up here, definitely this year. If not in the next couple months, you might just see all of a sudden we're launching in 5 weeks. Surprise! Because it just kind of depends on, who our strategic partners are with this. Because I mean, there's a lot of amazing, big, amazing healers out there that have reached out to me that want us to kind of like team up with them. So
Mhm.
I'm just trying to navigate that right now, what that all looks like, and make sure I do right by everybody. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, I like to disrupt shit too, and I want to give like newer healers, or just healers that don't have the presence that they deserve, the presence that they deserve.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I'm kind of like really just being cautious with that too, and making it like a fair, even starting playing ground, kind of level playing field, playing ground.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's really amazing to hear that story, Trish, and we all are waiting for your Heroverse to launch. And my best wishes to you in the next 5 weeks. I think you are doing a fabulous job of creating, I think, a new category, a new industry altogether. So
yeah,
all our good wishes from AcknoLedger team are with you. And yeah, best of luck, and hope
thank
all
you.
goes well, and you will. And I really like somebody fighting with the big pharma companies. So what you're trying to do
Yeah,
is really, it takes a lot
people
of
need
courage
it.
to do something like this.
I know, like, so last thing, because I know we're about to have our time come to an end, but I speak to spirits and other things, and like I said, I'm completely sober, so this is real. You know what I mean? I'm not on any medication. Um, like, I basically, like, they told me get loud. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh my god, am I gonna be safe? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, let's do this. And it took me a little while to start getting loud. And it's not even like being a jerk. Like, it's a fact. So many people know it. And I think we just need to do it with love and light instead of leading with like, this is partially on the offense and partially on the defense. So yeah, let's do this.
All the best, Trish, and
Thank you,
I'll see you
Abhishek.
soon
Thank you,
as
brother.
well.
Love you, brother.
And all the best for your Healerverse launch, and I'll see you. All
Thank
the best.
you. Thank you
See
for
you.
this. This is great. Talk to you soon.
See you. Bye.
Bye.